This week is just wild and crazy. You got a holiday in the middle of it. A lot of people out of town all week. Not sure. Are you really working? How hard are you working? What day is it? I have no idea Yesterday, I really didn't know what day it was. It certainly didn't feel like a Friday. Big Will Ortner, kind enough to hop in with me this morning so we can get Golf in the Northwest going as both Darkins and Luke taking advantage of the holiday. So no sinner and saint today. It's just us for the next hour. And you were kind enough to step in yesterday for the best of. I was not live in studio. It was Memorex yesterday for me. So
it wasn't too bad. It's the holiday weekend. I'm in the same boat. Can't figure out what day it is, but I do know that once we're done today, I got nothing else to do, and doesn't seem like it would be too hot to miss out on going out and golfing a little bit.
If you get in early. So yesterday, I did get up early. That's why I was texting you. I was on the golf course, 6:52 a.m. tee time out of Forest Hills, my course, which, by the way, is in immaculate condition. Marcus and Joey and Gabe and the Will and the crew out there absolutely have it dialed in. And so if you're looking for a very affordable opportunity to play some good golf out at the, what do they say? It's at the foothills of wine country out there in Washington County.
Ooh,
it's just gorgeous. He's done so much work. We're going to be out there at the end of the month. Next 3 weeks after this week, all on the road. We'll be at Chehalem Glen next Saturday morning. Then on the 20th, we will be at the resort at Mount Hood. We'll be up there, and then on the 27th, we'll be out at Forest Hills out in Cornelius, but no, ideal conditions. I imagine a lot of that going around. It is going to be extremely hot, but we finished right at the right time, right about 10:45, and it was starting to get a little steamy, but able to walk around. So I noticed the morning tee times. If you're looking for a morning tee time, good luck. You might have to play as a single. You probably have a chance to squeeze in somewhere, but if you got a full foursome,
well, you know what? Sometimes, it'll be hot, but it'll be cheaper, and that's the way to go.
Not on a weekend if you want a prime morning tee time. Now, if you are willing to, and I would suggest make sure you have some shade. If you're going to walk, have that umbrella up over you. Stay out of the direct sunlight. Also, make sure you're adhering to whatever local rules about, if you're using golf carts, 90 degrees, whatever. Make sure the superintendents. You follow their instructions because the heat does stress golf courses. You don't want them to get baked out. Please, please, please replace your ball marks on the greens, folks. I do that. I replace or fix 2 or 3 ball marks every time I get on a green. So let's make those things playable all day long for everybody. But yeah, everything is great. Thanks again to Taylor and the crew. Widgie Creek last weekend was fantastic. I can't wait to get back out there. And if you're headed over to Central Oregon, certainly that's a place. Lot of trees, those big tall pines. If you're looking for a place with plenty of shade in the afternoon, wanting to get around, ideal spot. I forgot to mention last week. So when I played, I got paired with a group, just the best dudes ever. Kevin, Brad, and Dave. 2 of them happen to be high school basketball officials out of the Grants Pass area.
Nice.
So understanding it's a small world and knowing people and hearing that and other officials in high schools, it was great. So much fun. It's one of the best parts of being able to go around, play some other courses around the areas, and just as a single walking on, meeting guys. So much fun. Everybody is just so friendly when they get out there that I have found. And it's one of the great things about this game. You just, you share a love for the game, whether you are a stick, whether you're a higher handicap, whatever the case may be. There's just no better feeling out there on the first tee, especially with an early tee time. Once you get over the getting up part and you get out there, and it's like it was yesterday or this morning, bright blue skies, no clouds, little breeze, and there's no better feeling.
No, you can't beat it, and it's still plenty of time. Or if you have to do the honey-do list, you can still go do that.
That was
while
great.
sneaking
We
in
had
the
lunch,
hobbies.
able to watch all the soccer yesterday that we
Mhm.
recorded, and which was amazing. Plenty of soccer today, too, if you're into that. So you've got quarterfinals in both the Euro and the Copa America. So you can kick back and do that when it gets heated up today when you get done doing your chores outside. So fantastic. We got a lot coming up here on the show. Of course, the Fan Golf Classic ready to go on Thursday at Langdon. Should cool off, should be ideal temperatures. Just a couple of foursomes left. We'll tell you more about that as the show goes on. But we are very busy today. We have caught up. It is an off week for the Korn Ferry Tour. We have been following Alistair Doherty. He had a great Sunday. Last week's tournament finished tied for fourth. Got a nice paycheck. Got some much-needed points. He's up now to 61st. And he's still playing golf, so we hunted him down. He's going to join us. He's out in Wisconsin at Erin Hills this week. So we will talk to him coming up at 8:15. Then at 8:30, one of the great up-and-coming golf areas, Wine Valley Golf Club out in Walla Walla in the heart of wine country as well, marrying wine and golf. Tyler Sweet is the PGA Director of Golf at Wine Valley Golf Club in Walla Walla. He's going to join us in the business of golf at 8:30. Tell us a little bit about that area as a golfing area, as well as how it marries with the wine industry, what they've done. Opportunities to take advantage, some stay-and-play packages as well, and a few other odds and ends for you. But we will get started here so we can get to Alistair very quickly by going inside the ropes.
It's time for an insider's look at the leaderboards, the latest on all tours, plus local golf events and golf news. This is Inside the Ropes, part of Golf in the Northwest.
Well, there's only one tour with a tournament this week. We'll get to the PGA in just a moment. We'll wrap up last week. The U.S. Senior Open out at Newport Country Club. Richard Bland, again, with his second major, back-to-back majors for him. And he defeated overnight leader Hiroyuki Fujita on a 4-hole playoff. But he's not eligible to play on the regular Champions Tour because he's a LIV golfer. So, again, LIV and the PGA Tour, and it's just continuing to be friction from having great fields and all of these things. But Richard Bland beat Fujita in a playoff, 13 under par, winning his second consecutive major, and nobody has had a renaissance the way Richard Bland did after winning. I think he was 48 or 49 when he finally won on the DP World Tour for the first time in some 500 starts. He kept after it, and he has had a little renaissance in his career. So congratulations to him. He won the KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship, and then wins the U.S. Senior Open. So that's what happened there. The Dow Championships on the LPGA Tour was the last U.S. stop. They are off this week as everybody is heading over the pond. They have two majors over there, the Evian Championships coming up next week, and then they will play the Women's British Open. Also, the Olympics are being played in Paris, so it's an interesting month for the LPGA Tour. But the team of Atthaya Thitikul of Thailand and Rhiannon Yin from China winning that event. A third career victory for Rhiannon after winning the Women's PGA previously. And for Atthaya, it is also her third career victory as well. So the LPGA Tour will fire it up next week from France with a major on the line. The PGA Tour is the John Deere Classic this week. TPC Deer Run in Silvis, Illinois. The par 71 course, nearly 7,300 yards. It started off with a bang on opening round Thursday with a 59 Hayden Springer, who was 10th at the Rocket Mortgage the week before. He comes up with a 59, which I believe is the 10th sub-60 round on tour this year. Maybe wow. I got my – it's guys are going low, and this is one of the things that courses – the USGA and the PGA, they're very concerned about is how to, as guys in technology, it's one of the reasons why they want to dial back the golf ball a little bit, make things more about second shots. That's an ongoing issue. But when a guy's got it dialed in and these guys are so skilled, there's not much you can do, especially then if conditions for whatever reason are soft. They can't firm up the greens. You can go right at pins. If you can be accurate and put it in a fairway, that's what can happen. But followed up with a 71 in round 2. And so he right now is tied for 4th at 12 under par. They are 2 back of C.T. Pan and Aaron Rai. Aaron Rai continues, the young Englishman with the 2 black gloves, continues to be in there week in, week out. Another 36-hole lead. He had one last week at Rocket, couldn't finish. An amazing finish at the Rocket last week. Akshay Bhatia missing a short putty, 3-putted for a bogey on the 18th hole, and that allowed Cam Davis to get his second win, both at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. But Akshay Bhatia is about to break through and get a victory. Harry Hall won back at 13 under par. Eric Cole, Davis Thompson there at 12 under. So a lot of the top players finally getting a breather. They are working their way over across the pond. You'll have the Scottish Open next week and then the Open Championship at Royal Troon in a couple of weeks. So that's what's going on there. Korn Ferry Tour's off this week, but last week, a big week for a local player, Alistair Doherty, who we have followed throughout his career, coming up as a junior from Vancouver, All-American at Chico State, to the Canadian Tour, and now trying to make his way to the PGA Tour. Took another big step, finished tied for 4th. That moved him up some 30 spots in the Korn Ferry Tour points rankings. And he's kind enough to make a few minutes as they are off this week. He's busy. He's playing golf. He's got a lot going on before they get back to it in Colorado next week. But we are going to check in with him next and see just how close he is to finally breaking through. Or he is at a point, if he can get a win on the Korn Ferry Tour, he is most likely to get a PGA Tour card moving forward. Alistair Doherty joining us next here. It's Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
Hey, it's Suk.
It's a holiday weekend. Hope everybody's been enjoying their holiday festivities. We hope it's included a little golf. And with most of the other tours taking a break this week, we have finally done it. We have caught up. We have been following for the last few months our good friend Alistair Doherty's quest to make it to the PGA Tour. He had that second place finish in a PGA Tour event a couple of months ago. Last week at the Memorial Health Championships on the Korn Ferry Tour, his best finish of the season, tied for fourth with a great final round, making a little money. Alistair Doherty, we have caught up with him. Where are you?
Hey, Swag. Thanks for having me on. Off week is being spent at Erin Hills in Wisconsin. I'm out here with a couple buddies and Riggs from Barstool, and you guys might know Dan Snowy. He's a Northwest guy.
Yes.
At High School. So we're out here. We're staying in a cottage, taking a couple days, playing some golf, and it's just perfect out here. 75 and sunny. Couldn't have a better day.
Yeah, we're a little jealous of you. It's 100 plus here this weekend, but this is the first hot weekend. We have had ideal weather here in the Northwest. Congratulations last week. We've seen you held a 36-hole lead a little earlier on the Korn Ferry Tour. You had that tremendous week out in South Carolina that got everybody's attention, finishing second, runner-up, getting in on a sponsor's exemption. You mentioned the Barstool guys. Just how has your season progressed? You missed the cut in 3 of the first 4 events. What happened that week in South Carolina, and how has it taken you now to getting you in position to get that tour card?
I was, you're right. It was a little slow of a start. I actually got pretty sick at the beginning of the year, but it was just prepping for Myrtle, and that was kind of my focus, and everything kind of came together and played well at the right time. I know what I'm capable of, and to showcase it and put it all together, and the biggest moment of my career so far, it was really special.
Well, and how much does it help? People don't understand out there on the Korn Ferry Tour, unless you finish like in the top 10 at an event, you're not making maybe enough money to cover your expenses for the week. So winning a PGA Tour event like that with that big paycheck, how much did that just ease your mind to focus on golf the rest of the way, knowing you got a little money now in the bank?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely took a little bit of weight off the shoulders. It's always been a financial battle with golf for a few years. I've been very fortunate enough the last couple of years to run into the right people at the right time, and getting a little bit more support financially, and then to make that check on the PGA Tour. That was very special.
I imagine that just fueled your motivation to dive in even more, knowing that you can hang on the PGA Tour. I don't think people realize, if you haven't seen these tournaments on the Korn Ferry Tour, just how competitive it is, how cutthroat it is, and the fact that it might be harder because the cuts are so hard to make. These courses, you got to go out and you got to make birdies every single round. What has picked up in your game, and what is the last piece you think to finally breaking through, getting that victory?
I reflected a bit on Myrtle Beach and how I was just patient and kind of let everything fall into place, and knew that it was just going to happen. And then when I got back out on the Korn Ferry, I was kind of rushing. And like you said, the cuts are so low and everybody has to go so low out there that I was kind of rushing to try and press and make birdies, and it was just backfiring. So the last couple of weeks, kind of just hit the reset button and said, you know what was working in Myrtle? Well, I was really patient and just let the putts fall when they fell. And that's what I did the last 2 weeks. I finished T16 and T4. So I think there's I'm onto something there.
Yeah, a little momentum building. You've been playing, it seems like, every week for about 3 months. I was surprised. Obviously, you do get a week off. You want to be with friends and get together. You're out there at Erin Hills about ready to play. So are you getting enough of a break, not in the competition mode, but still playing and keeping your game sharp?
There's just no break, really. even if people do say they take break, the only time you can take a break is when you just leave the clubs at home, and that's just not possible for me. I love the game so much, and to have a special way to come kind of relax and play golf, I'm going to take that every time.
There you go. We're chatting with our good buddy Alistair Doherty from across the river in Vancouver. He's been out on the Korn Ferry Tour now and building momentum. That gets you up to 61st now, that last finish. But it was about a month ago, I think, you had the 36-hole lead in a Korn Ferry Tour event. What did you learn from that experience, not able to take it through, and how have you applied what you learned there being in the lead to help you now have these finishes the last couple of weeks?
It was the week right after Myrtle. So I just carried the momentum into that 36 holes. And then I just got mentally exhausted. And when one thing went wrong, and then I started pressing again. So it's just learning to be as patient as possible and just trusting what you got. Because the birdies will fall and it'll all add up to something good in the end if you just stay patient.
Where is your game at just right now? What do you know that you can just trust no matter what?
I'm still working on everything, but I just trust my ability in all aspects. I think my course management is probably the best part of my game.
And so you'll get a little break. Everything ramps up here. You'll start the schedule for the Korn Ferry Tour. Obviously, it fluctuates quite a bit, but you're going to start being in some more familiar places. Is there one tournament that's coming up that is a place you've had some success? You feel like you can really go after the opportunity to win?
I feel like if you don't believe you can do that every week, you shouldn't be out here. But there are some places that kind of suit my eye a little more than others, and that would probably be the next week that we go out. Colorado is kind of a bomber's course. Ball flies forever. You got to be hitting it long and far, and then the next one would be Chicago. Chicago's kind of the same kind of thing. It's a second shot golf course, but if you hit it further, obviously you have much shorter second shots into the smaller tucked pins, small greens tucked pins. So just kind of getting ready for those and see if we can go get a W.
What part of your game has improved the most within this season? You've always hit it long. We've always known that about you. But what's improved the most for you to start seeing the results that you've had this season?
I think it's the consistency in the short game. I've always, not always, but I've struggled in the past of just the basic chips and even putting myself in the bad spots and just not having the chance to get it up and down. And so everything around the greens has really improved, and obviously the putting is getting better as well. So I think it'll all come together pretty soon.
Alistair Doherty, our guest here, making his move right now on the Korn Ferry Tour, coming off a tie for fourth. He'll pick it up next week, the Ascendant presented by Blue at TPC Colorado. Really building some consistency. Has your family, I know you got family out here in the Vancouver area. Have they had a chance to come out at some time and be with you on the courses at all, or they wait until you get a little closer to the West Coast?
Well, they came to Myrtle, and then they also came to the RBC Canadian Open, and they're actually overseas in Scotland right now, having a little vacation with some friends. But I think they'll be back in a few weeks, and I don't know what the next one they're going to come to. I know they'll for sure be at Boise, but they're the biggest support system, and I love them so much.
No, and they're so proud of you. Everybody out here is as well. We've been following your story. Is there? How did you get hooked up with the Barstool guys? I think that's a unique kind of story. They were really back in your corner too, giving you tons of shout outs on social media. How did that relationship start?
It's a little bit of a long story, but to make it short, when I was caddying at Silverleaf a few years ago, there was a new caddy in the barn that kind of ran his mouth and fired up a little game, and it was him and Riggs against me and a friend, and we went out there, and I ended up shooting bogey free 63 on my own ball and took him for a bunch of money, and he was just asking, what's my deal? You know, he's never really seen anybody play this well and had no idea that we were coming up against a pro. He was just told that it was a caddy. So we kept in contact. And once I Mondayed in the following season into Wichita, Riggs reached out and wanted me to rep all of the Barstool gear. And we've have a sponsorship deal in place since then.
Well, that's fantastic. And those are so helpful. I mean, people just assume, you know, at the largest levels in the Tigers and Scotty Schefflers and Rorys, and but at you know, trying to get there, just any help to not have to worry about paying for things on your own while you're trying to get there is so helpful. So are you pretty much it's week in, week out now, the rest of the way for everything that you're entered through, trying to build up those points and get your card?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. There won't be too many times that I'll have the chance to take a week off. If I do, it'll probably be after a win and kind of rest my mental state. Just realizing how much that takes a toll, especially coming off of Myrtle and then going straight to Kansas City. I really found that out. So if I get a win, maybe I'll be able to have the luxury of taking a week off. But as of right now, I'll probably play all of them coming in.
Well, yeah, right now, 61st in points, and a win would vault you right into, well, you'd be up in the top 10 or close to the top 10 at that point. So it's coming. We can all feel it. We see it week in, week out. Alistair Doherty, enjoy your time at Erin Hills. We are all jealous and want to get out there and play that sometime. But definitely Boise at the end of August in the Korn Ferry Tour playoffs, but hopefully it happens for you. We are all watching back here in the Portland, Vancouver area and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Swag. Appreciate you.
There you go. Alistair Doherty taking his week off, keeping things sharp, but looks to get right back in it here. We'll come back with more here on this holiday edition of Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
Auto
Hills to join us, and we are keeping close eye. He will be in Boise at the end of August. I know he'll have a lot of family and friends. There's a big crew being ready to get into his gallery. So if you have the opportunity, go say hi to our friend Jeff Sanders over there in Boise for the Albertsons Boise Open on the Korn Ferry Tour playoffs. But right now, we are very pleased to have joining us from Wine Valley Golf Club, the director of golf, PGA professional Tyler Sweet, as we work around some of the great areas of golf here in the Pacific Northwest, and a growing spot is Walla Walla, right in the middle of wine country out there. Tyler, good morning. How are conditions out there in Walla Walla this morning?
Conditions are great. We're getting ready to host the PNGA Men's Am next week, so we got 156 of the top AMs from the West Coast, so course is in fantastic shape right now.
Well, just a little bit about the course and how old it is, how it came about, and just sort of the golfing experience in that particular part of the Pacific Northwest. It's a little different than maybe what we're used to out here playing on the coast, and whether it's Bandon, playing in Central Oregon. How is the golf course set up, and what are the conditions like for players wanting to get over there?
You know, a lot of people compare us to like an inland Bandon Dunes. You know, we're a links golf course. We have enormous fairways, you know, draped across like agriculture plain. We're surrounded by alfalfa fields. You know, it's just a really neat place, you know, panoramic views from almost every tee box on the hole with the Blue Mountains. Conditions are really good. So it's kind of in between a links and a resort course. You know, obviously we do get a bit warmer over here, so keeping it at that full links style can be a little bit difficult. But, you know, what Dan Hickson did with the golf course was just fantastic. You know, Hickson, you know, obviously you guys know Hickson really well down in the Portland area, but, man, it's just a stunning design through rolling hills. It's great. They didn't move much dirt to build the golf course.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so they left it pretty natural, and you know the bunkers. You know, the one thing people do talk a lot about is our bunkers, but we use a natural sand that we get from just up the road. Everything looks natural. They look a little bit rugged, but yeah, Hickson's just his design. He was just out a couple of weeks ago and just looking over stuff. He just did a fantastic job with the property, and it's. You know, it's just in a cool spot. Some people talk about how Walla Walla is tough to get to, but it's well worth the journey.
Well, it's not that tough to get to, but and I love the fact that you guys have it set up in a resort style. You can play it back to 7,600, which is why you can host these big events like the PNGA Amateur and stuff with the USGA for events out there. But there's plenty of tees. You can make it as short as 5,100 yards for families that want to come out, or you know, people that want to enjoy it, but obviously can't swing it, you know, 300 yards off the tee. And that's one of the more inviting things to stay when you're looking for a resort course, a destination golf course. The ability to play it, still take advantage of it, but not feel like you're going up against something that's a monstrous challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we can tip it back past 7,600 yards, but you can also play it up short too. It's I think one of the coolest things is like how friendly it is for lady golfers. You know, there's no forced carries off the tees, so you know we get a lot of ladies groups coming in. They just love it. It's so, you know, it's friendly to all golfers. You can play it as difficult as you want. You know, I was out last night, played the Golds with my kid. It was fun. It's definitely long, but. You know, him and I'll go out. We'll play the forward tees too. You know, where you can drive a bunch of the par fours and make some birdies and eagles. So, it doesn't matter what tee box or skill level. You know, it's fun for everybody.
Yeah, and you mentioned the bunkering and the greens. How are the green complexes? Are they massive greens that have, you know, several different tiers and areas to move the pins around? Yeah,
there are. The greens are absolutely massive. You know, it's just. You know, like hole number 5 is the best example. It's Links Magazine ranks as one of the top 20 holes of the 21st century. Has a 500-yard waste bunker going down the left side, and you get up to this green, and if it's a front pin, the difference from a front pin to a back pin is like 30 to 40 yards. So you could be hitting 8-iron into a front pin, but if that pin's in the back, you're hitting 6.
So much fun and a true link style course. Yeah, you can use the ground to your advantage. That's the other fun part of it as well. You've been out there. A little bit of story about you. Obviously, director of golf out there. You have a great staff with you giving instruction if you're looking for that as well. But how did you find your way through the PGA system and find your way to Wine Valley?
I grew up in Canada, and I never had any aspirations of working in the golf business. I wanted to be an NHL linesman, and that was the goal, and things changed, and met my wife, and she was from down in Washington and moved down here and got into the business. But, Wine Valley, I started coming to Wine Valley, I think, around 2011 or 12 for the Northwest Open. Family came out, and we fell in love with Walla Walla, so became an annual trip every August, and then they moved the Northwest Open, and I was a little bit upset because I lost my 1-week vacation to Walla Walla and Wine Valley every year, and about 2 months after that, I got the call to be relocated here and start working at Wine Valley. So it's always been my favorite course in Washington, and being able to call it my home base now is pretty fortunate.
We're talking with Tyler Sweet, the director of golf at Wine Valley Golf Club out in Walla Walla. How much has the golf club and the community there kind of intersected with the wine industry, and how are things now that Walla Walla? I remember going out there. I went to the University of Puget Sound, and way back 30 some odd years ago. And I remember having some regional conference of small colleges and interfraternity council sort of things, and we ended up out there at Whitman.
Yeah.
But Walla Walla is completely different now compared to that. Just how has the town grown? It is a tourist destination with the wine industry sprouting up. How much of it you guys integrated with them, and if for people coming out to look to make a weekend or a week of it. Some of the interaction between the industries.
Yeah, definitely. The wine industry has definitely grown in Walla Walla. It's the number 1 ranked wine region in the country through USA Magazine now, over 130 wineries. Local airports have private jets coming in every weekend. So, wine's a big thing out there, and a lot of people travel for it. So, we partner with some wineries, with Roti and Dusset Valley and Abeja and Balboa. It's amazing how many people, and I'm just getting into tasting wine and learning about it. I've never been a wine drinker, but it's the cool thing to do in Walla Walla. So, but it's just massive in the food industry too. It's crazy here. There's just so much good food. The one winery at Abeja, Mike Easton is now leading their as their lead chef. He's a 4-time finalist for the James Beard Award. It's just there's just so many good places to hang out down. Red Monkey, Hop Thief. It's a cool place, and we have people that come in for just wine and golf. We have people that come in with the Blue Mountains nearby us. Some people come in, do some hiking, bike riding, and play some golf.
Fantastic. And so how is, I know you guys are just 18. Are there any plans? I don't know how much land is around you that the owners might have. Is there any plans for expansion for another 9 or 18 in the future?
Yeah, I'm not sure on that yet. That there's some land around us, but it's not ours. We have the golf course and just a teeny bit more acreage. But yeah, I'm not sure what the plans are on for that. There was a great article in the PNGA magazine with our owner and talking a little bit about what he's done for golf and, future plans and that. But nothing that I'm aware of at the current time.
Now, I've got in my notes here the Space Age Cup Series. That sounds exciting. What exactly does that entail?
So you guys being from Portland, you're probably very familiar with Space Age Fuels.
Yes.
So Space Age Fuel sponsors a 4-series event with our sister course in Emerald Valley.
Oh, there you go.
Down in Creswell, Oregon.
Yep.
both of us run a pro-am and a best ball each, and there's like a point series at the end of the year, and you can earn gift cards to Space Age Fuels from the point system at the end of the year, or to either one of the golf courses. But currently, there's 2 events left on that schedule. Both the pro-ams we have our best ball coming up in 2 weeks. 160 players that sells out in about 2 weeks. And then Emerald Valley will be hosting their pro-am mid-August. So it's a great series, 2 great golf courses. You know, we get a ton of people coming up from Portland to play in our pro-am in April, and then our best ball in a few weeks.
Fantastic. Oh, go ahead. Finish. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's just I used to, before I started working at Wine Valley, I used to always see the schedule for this and never signed up. But a lot of fun in those events, and everybody has a great time.
Well, you've been, you know, it's one of those places you definitely want to get to. As far as other opportunities to play golf, I know this is one of the signature courses out there, but if people want to come for like a full week, what are the what's the golfing community like right around Walla Walla?
You know, it's to pair with us well. You know, I think courses to go with us. There's a couple in Tri-Cities, and then obviously you have Wild Horse over down in Pendleton. But you know, we got some great we have some great 2 and 3 day packages for golfers. You know, consecutive day packages. So we're actually seeing a lot of people coming into town and spending 2 to 4 days on our property. You know, it's just, you know, our rates are at weekend rates now are $200, but you come and play consecutive days, and that drops quite a bit. The more time you spend on property, the more the rates drop.
Fantastic. Well, and so what if you were looking to plan a buddy golf trip or a family golf trip? What sort of budget do you need to plan for it, depending on how long you want to stay with some of those play and stay packages?
Yeah, so that's all. You know, the play and stay packages, you know, obviously they have their rates. When you stay with our play and stay partners, and we work with the Marcus Whitman, the Finch, the Courtyard Marriott, Abeja, and Heritage, you save about 10 to 15% off green fees with them. With us, some of them package into the hotel, some you pay on property. You know, it's so it all depends what their rates for their hotels are, but we're seeing a lot of people doing the 2 and 3 day consecutive, like a 3 day package, which, you know, you play one where you come in on a Friday, you play at like 12 o'clock, and then you play 2 mornings on the weekend. You know, that's getting down to $158 a round.
Oh, fantastic.
So that's where, you know, we try to push people. The best value at Wine Valley is coming to play us 2 to 3 days. You know, we're seeing we have same-day replay rate for $70, so you can play at 8 o'clock on a Saturday and then play again at 1:30.
There you
and
go.
that second round's only $70. We're seeing a lot of people Friday afternoon, they play 36 Saturday and then 18 Sunday. But they're also, we put in, you've been down to Bandon with the Punch Bowl. We put in a 1 acre, just over 40,000 square foot corkscrew putting green.
Oh, fantastic.
You know,
yeah.
And a year ago, we put speakers around it, so we got music going on out there. So we see a lot of people come in, and like Luke Kwan from Good Golf was out last year, and they did a match on the golf course. Next thing you know, they're out in bare feet and sipping drinks with the music on, and they spend a couple hours on the corkscrew. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then what else on property or right around it? Some other amenities, restaurants, food, opportunities. There's tons of wine tasting rooms down there. You don't have to worry about finding that. But what else is going on around the property when you're done playing golf?
So most people head back into town, you know, they usually come play us in the morning, head back into town, and, you know, Main Street is just amazing. You know, there's so much good tasting rooms on Main Street. Eateries, you know, bars, shops, you know, it's just, when I talk about go-tos when I'm here, Pasta Tempo is a must. They do such a fabulous job. Then I like the Red Monkeys and the Hot Thieves. They're kind of a different scene, but yeah, Pasta Tempo is amazing.
Fantastic.
So the downtown corridor is really cool. After the pandemic, they did such a good job. They've shut down some side streets and made more eating areas outside, so live music.
Perfect. All right. Tips for people that are coming out to remember when they play the course, if they haven't played it yet, you know, where does, you know, is there a canyon or a river or something that goes where all the balls get pulled to on the greens? What are some of the tips people should keep in mind when they come out?
That's a great question. If anybody knows that canyon where the balls break, I'd love to know. But our greens are enormous, and they got some undulation in them and some mounds. But being on bent grass, you can kind of read the grass a bit. Obviously shiny's fast, dark's not, so you can read that a little bit to help you out with your putts. Some people putt fabulous on our greens, but some people struggle a little bit, but they're enormous. So it's like enormous wide fairways, enormous greens. It's just you're going to have a few 3-4 footers out there on the greens, but they're fun.
Well, yeah. Is there an ideal time? Obviously, it's pushing 100 here in Portland this weekend. When's an ideal condition time? I would think maybe late or fall could be ideal, especially after some of the summer rush is gone.
Yeah, I'm going to say prime time for us is usually, the May through the end of June. We do get a lot of people coming up in July. Like it does, like our 100 versus your 100 is totally different. It's such a dry heat here that it doesn't feel. When I go back to the west side and it's 80 out, it feels super hot to me, but 100 over here doesn't. But I would say, that August and September and the first couple of weeks of October is just fabulous time. It's September is probably our busiest month of the year.
Where should people go online if they have questions? How far in advance should they be making plans if they want to make a stay out of it?
Yeah, so you go to WineValleyGolfClub.com. We book tee times for our non-locals 90 days out. So we do all our tee times through our website, so they're easy to log in there and see what's available. You can also, on the webpage, you can click the under golf, up pops our consecutive day specials. Obviously, like I talked about that earlier, but we're actually through the end of July, we're running a weekday, Sunday through Thursday, $250 for 2 consecutive days of golf. So you get it down to $125 a round.
That's fantastic. Tyler Sweet, the director of golf for Wine Valley Golf Club out there in Walla Walla. Definitely going to have to put this on my list once we get out of the summer months. Maybe October is the ideal time to come out. Can't wait to play this place in person again. WineValleyGolfClub.com. Thank you so much, Tyler. We appreciate it. Enjoy the summer. Good luck with the PNGA Amateur coming up this week.
You got it. I appreciate your time.
There you go, Tyler Sweet, PGA Pro Director of Golf out at Wine Valley Golf Club. Boy, if you're looking for a local getaway, that's a golf trip with the buddies, but you don't want to be spending so much on airfare to go somewhere like Wisconsin or Michigan or North Carolina. Totally different experience right there, just a drive away. Head on out to Walla Walla, take in some wine, some golf. Should be a great time. We will come back. We'll wrap things up. A little business to take care of. We are getting set for the 10th Annual Fan Golf Classic presented by Autotown GMC. We'll tell you more about that coming up on Thursday as we wrap things up. It's Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
We all know baseball is a long
8:52 on this Saturday morning holiday week. Hope everybody is staying cool. If you are headed out into the heat to play, make sure you got plenty of hydration, regular and available to you. Find some shade. Take a cart. Take a cart. You'll be better off for it. You'll enjoy your round a lot more. Make sure you observe all the local rules so we can protect our courses, make sure that they don't get too much damage here, that the superintendents are able to keep them playable throughout the heat. They'll have to put a lot more water on the courses here, so there might be a few soft spots, so please be careful. And then we cannot wait to see everybody joining us out at Langdon Farms this coming Thursday. Ottotown GMC presents the 10th Annual Fan Golf Classic. It is our unique golf experience. The afternoon round sold out. There are just a couple, and I literally mean a couple, foursomes left for the morning round. It's going to be up towards 90, so it might be ideal for you to come out, play early, and join us there. We'll have Victorico's Mexican food with their famous breakfast burritos for everybody teeing off early in the morning round. Matt's Barbecue will be back serving their award-winning food, and the usual array of craft beverages will be in effect. The Michelob Ultra driving range will be there for you to get warmed up. We'll all be out on the 6th hole at some point. Those of us from the Fan, our hosts, will be out there giving you a little advice on how to take on the little small par 3 volcano hole. Maybe we'll hit a shot for you if you guys can't find it. That is brought to you by Doers. And, of course, if you have some recently used, gently used clubs, you've upgraded, you've got something new, maybe you got a new putter, a new driver, a new wedge there for Father's Day, the PGA chapter would love for you to bring those used clubs to us. We are going to have the OPGA club swap at the changeover. So from 11 to 2, Jackson Bensel, who's a PGA associate from just down the road at Charbonneau, is going to come up and help us look at those clubs. If you need a tax donation form, we'll get your information. But what will happen is juniors then will be able to they do a big club swap. You can sign up. They send them out to facilities. Our buddy Jake Bader out at Colwood is one of them, a couple others around the area. And they can custom fit those clubs and get them in the hands of juniors who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford them. So they have good, solid equipment for them to learn on. If you have junior clubs as well, maybe your kids have grown out of them at this point, we'd love to have those as well. So that'll be between 11 and 2. So when you're checking in for the afternoon rounds or when you're done with the morning round, we'd love for you to come over. I will be around as well, directing people to that. So hopefully we can do some good there. It was a project of Harold's that he started before COVID. And COVID kind of took it out because you couldn't do the in-person club swaps, but now we can. And so much want to get that thing built back up. It was really gaining some steam. So sign your foursome up now, 1080thefan.com, the 10th Annual Fan Golf Classic. Just about sold out. We'll see everybody Thursday out at Langdon Farms. Can't wait to be out there. Thanks again to Alistair Doherty for joining us early today. We will find him in Colorado next week when the Korn Ferry Tour kicks back in. Everybody getting over the pond. You're going to see a lot of golf in Europe, a lot of early morning golf. The LPGA Tour will have its major next week at the Evian. The Open Championship at 2 weeks in Royal Troon will be going on as well. We'll have Olympic golf from Paris to start August. It should be quite a month of golf across the pond. Again, thanks as well to Tyler Sweet from Wine Valley Golf Club. That is winevalleyGolfClub.com. Just some great, if you're looking for a local, you can drive to it so you don't have to worry about airfare. Great deals. Go online. 2 or 3 days should be